Hello, everyone. It is my honor to welcome you all to the eighth and the last seminar of Aspire4Impact series. Today, we're here to talk about sustainability and business plan. My name is Azra Marash, and I'm the lead of the Awards and Grants sub-team in 6429 Fourth Dimension. Sadly, there won't be any seminars after this one, and we would like to remind you that these sessions will be recorded and will be shared on social media. Keep in mind that if you choose to ask any questions or write in the chat, your input will also be recorded as a part of the session. Because of this reason, we advise you to ask your questions after the presentations are over. Speaking of questions, we're here to guide you, so do not hesitate to ask us anything that you have in mind. In this seminar, Team 6429 and 6865 will be presenting, so let's hear from them. Manitolian Metal.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the team captain of Manitoulin Metal 6865. We are located in Ontario, Canada, and I'm super excited to be presenting about environmental sustainability today, and I will let my mentor introduce herself.
And hi, everyone. I'm Yana Bauer. I'm lead mentor for 6865, and it's been an honor to be a part of these seminars with Fourth Dimension.
Today, I'll be talking about one of the most important aspects of our team's sustainability efforts, project documentation. Project documentation involves keeping a detailed record of each project that is conducted throughout the season. But why is it important? Firstly, project documentation ensures that all the lessons we've learned from our projects are accessible to everyone, both current and future members. This way, our team avoids repeating mistakes and can build upon past successes. Therefore, it allows us to preserve the knowledge and experiences that we've gained. Now, how is this process sustainable? By documenting each project, we reduce the need to do everything all over again. Instead of starting from scratch, we can refer to previous efforts and adapt to them. This also makes it easier for new or less experienced members to learn quickly. When documenting, we ensure certain key elements are included. These are the aim of the project, so we understand its purpose and goals, the outcomes and results to track our progress and measure success, the responsible team members to maintain accountability, and feedback and reflections, which help us identify areas for improvement later on. Demir, you may continue. Now, let's talk about how we maintain sustainable connections, an essential part of our team's long-term success. Starting with youth mentors, these are former team members who have stepped back from active participation but are still in high school. Well, most of them are 11th graders. They share their ideas, offer guidance, and help current members based on their past experiences. Then we have our alumni, who have moved on to university but remain closely tied to the team. Their involvement is really valuable, especially during high-stakes moments such as preparing for competitions or drafting critical documents like our impact essay. Alumni frequently provide feedback, share advice, and serve as role models for our current members. For example, one of the unique ways we maintain our relationships with our alumni is through our 19 Awards group. This group includes all team members from the past 9 years who are and were a part of the Awards and Grants sub-team. For example, when we're working on important submissions, such as our impact essay, or we need some advice on our presentations, we reach out to the group for feedback or any advice that they might have. Additionally, we host an annual event called Homecoming. This gathering unites alumni, youth mentors, and current members to celebrate our achievements, exchange ideas, and reflect on our progress. Alumni share their personal stories, which inspire and guide the team while keeping our traditions alive. By integrating contributions from youth mentors, alumni, and mentors, and by creating platforms like 9 Awards Group and homecoming events, we build a self-sustaining cycle of learning. Thank you for listening to me today. Now my team captain Demir will be talking about how Fourth Dimension acts as a local and our environmental sustainability strategies.
Hello everyone, I'm Demir. I'm the team captain of 6429 and I will talk about how does Fourth Dimension act as a local. So, acting as a local starts from prioritizing local businesses, but why should we do that? Because being a local, so Fourth Dimension is a local of Izmir, a town located in the western of Turkey, and we prioritize local businesses being affiliated with local businesses. We try to choose our sponsors and our project partners from local businesses, but why should we do that and why do we do that? Because actually creating a sustainable environment, we believe, goes through creating a local, sustainable, socio-economical environment. It is a cultivation for us. So when searching for strategic partners, when searching for sponsorships, we prioritize getting in contact with local businesses, and afterwards, we elaborate on our socio-economical circumstances and our SWOT analysis. So the SWOT analysis includes strengths, weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. This allows us to go for empathy because rooting from the same geographical environment, probably these local businesses face the same socioeconomical circumstances and have the same SWOT notions as you. So this allows them to have empathize with you, which much with a larger company wouldn't be able to do so when you're collaborating with a national company or an international, a global company. It is not that possible to have this bond, have this connection with them when compared to the personal bond with your local businesses. And our third step goes through searching for in-kind support. This in-kind support includes any kind of products or services that the company, the local business that you're working with, actually sells them for profit or like offers the service for profit. For example, if you're looking for a metal sheet for your an aluminium sheet for your robot, then try to find a local business that actually sells this in-kind support, this aluminium sheet, so that they will be able to help you much easier and much faster and much more cheaper for them, so that they will be able to help you with the most efficient way. And lastly, the last part of being a local, the giving back culture. The businesses that you're collaborating with are your neighbors, the people from your same town. So this is your community. So giving back culture um, is one of the most important notions of 40. So for example, we had the Hugo Boss, the factory in Izmir, Hugo Boss factory, as our sponsorships in like 3 years before, I believe. And we were also looking for a way to say thank you, a way of giving back what we have received. So we were also at the time searching for a place, a center with socioeconomically disadvantaged middle school children. So we've asked not an education center, not a public school, but the Hugo Boss factory for the uh, children of the blue-collar workers. So we we got in contact with the Hugo Boss factory, and this allowed us to give back to them what we have received from them in a way to say thank you. And then our sponsorship continued for another year, and we believe it played a crucial role in this. So and lastly, on behalf of 4D, we have environmental sustainability. So we've talked about your town's economical sustainability, about your team's sustainability, but all of this uh, actually rooted from the environmental sustainability notion. So of course, 4D prioritizes the reduce, reuse, and recycle link process. So starting from reducing, all teams use tons of documents, tons of spreads of sheets of paper. So when we realized that we were using probably thousands of spreads of sheets of um, paper, we try to reduce it within our team and try to promote that, which is a part of the responsibility that I'm going to talk about later. So reducing the paper waste. We've been, for instance, we have been publishing and printing and publishing a science booklet for 7 years now. It's called the STEAM Magician Science Booklets, which include like STEM videos. STEM experiments. So last year, instead we printed a QR code that leads to these experiments as a Canva link, so that we were able to save probably hundreds of sheets of paper. And the mechanical part of the competition, uh, there are just for within our team, there are probably thousands of bolts and rivets wasted each year because we just love to buy new bolts for some reason. So being more organized actually allows us you to have a clear observation of what you have in hand so that what you don't have to buy. And moving on to reusing, consider using last season's robots parts so that you will, firstly, for your team's budget, be an advantage of that, and then afterwards, of course, the environmental sustainability so that the metal wastage will be less. And maybe you can consider taking care of your stationary equipment so that you will be able to use them in the next season also. And lastly, recycling. For instance, you can consider collaborating with paper recycling factories. So, for example, 6429 has been collaborating with Tire Kutsan Paper Recycling Factory, which is also located in Izmir for our chance. We've been sending them our waste paper and taking back the recycled paper as a part of our environmental sustainability goals. And also, speaking of energy needs, you should call on renewable solutions for your lab. For example, we've been using solar panels to feed our energy need. Um, so any kind of renewable energy resources, if you can provide any of those, please try to uh, tend to them. And lastly, even though this is not stated as a part of the first mission or like any kind of besides the sustainability award, it's not a criteria of the first impact award of the engineering inspiration. But as a team, as a person, I personally believe that everyone has a responsibility for what they do, but also what they don't do. So try to be responsible of your own, and as a team, you have the power of an organization. Uh, so please try to use that power to work on raising public awareness so that not just your team, but all so your community, your local community can benefit from environmental sustainability. And um, that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. So we are going to touch a little bit more on environmental sustainability. You put that really well, your environmental sustainability slide. That was really awesome. And so we're just going to talk a little bit more in depth about that. So just as a reminder, I'm Alex. I'm from Team 6865, and I'm going to start by talking about what does sustainability mean. So in the context of first, sustainability means two things. There's team sustainability, so ensuring the longevity of the team through management planning and responsible use of resources, and environmental sustainability, which was added to the Sustainability Award pretty recently last year. So ensuring the longevity of the environment through management planning and responsible use of resources. So you can kind of see how these two are very similar, and they do go hand in hand. So longevity of our entire world depends on the health of our Earth. First, teams can do their part by integrating both types of sustainability into their team plan. So if we don't have an Earth to do robotics on, there will be no robotics, is what I'm saying. So to the side, you can see there's just a picture of our team doing a shoreline cleanup, and there's some bags of trash that we collected. And so this is kind of an example of how your team can also work with the environment. Next slide, please. So integration of sustainability. So this part is very important. So you want to have sustainability and your environmental stewardship integrated into every part of your team, not just like one section of it. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. The example I have here is for our budget. So your team can have a big impact on the environment, and you need to make sure that you account for that. So what 6865 does is we purchase carbon offsets for our team, and carbon offsets are basically you give money to a company, and they take your carbon footprint and they offset it so that you are carbon neutral, and they can do this different ways, like by planting trees and stuff like that. Why do you need them? So say you have a high carbon emission because of all your transportation to and from your build practices. This puts you in the negatives, and you're not for your carbon emission, and you're not neutral or above. And so that means you are having a negative effect on the environment. And in order to put yourself at carbon neutral, you buy these offsets so that every negative action or action that may hurt the environment is accounted for. And that way you're taking responsibility, like Team 6429 said. So the next part is to account for it. So make your environmental goals part of your plan. So what 6865 does is in our budget, we have like a fundraising goal and section specifically for purchasing our carbon offsets. And that is accounted for in the money that we need total for the season. And that's just a good way to make sure that it doesn't get forgotten and that there's always money to achieve your environmental goals. Additionally, you can find partners with aligned goals to help purchase these carbon offsets. You can pitch your mission to them, and I can guarantee you will be very happy to support this. For example, 6865 has a partnership with Cheeks Ahoy, and they funded our carbon offsets for transportation to Worlds, and we have to take a flight there, so it's quite a bit. Eventually, like once you get your mission and your goals out into the public, and once people see that what you're doing for the environment, sponsors will start to approach you with these funds for carbon offsets because they believe in what you're doing. It's very important to be like authentic in these goals and really make sure that you're committed to achieving them. Consistency is also really important when dealing with the environment. If you just do one thing one time, it's helpful, but it won't make as much of an impact as if you keep consistently integrating sustainability into what you're doing. Next slide, please. How else can you reduce your carbon footprint? So there's two different ways. So I'm going to focus on team habits first. These are just things that can go into your everyday schedule. So things like carpooling to practices, preserving energy, and Team 6865, we do this through solar power. So we use solar power energy to charge our batteries for our robot and for our tools. And so our build room runs on solar power, which is a really great renewable energy resource. Additionally, just don't let things wait on standby, using up energy. Like if something's done charging, unplug it, stuff like that. Additionally, recycling and reusing old parts. Team 6429 also touched on this. It's very important just to save money and also the supplies, like the resources needed to create the supplies and transport it to your robotics team. Next is events and activities. So these are things that are planned specifically to increase your environmental stewardship, and they can't just be like worked in, like they need a bit more planning. So tree planting, our team has planted over 100 trees, and we did this because of one of our partners, Manitoulin Streams. They donated trees for us to plant, which was really great. And this is another example of how your mission can align with your partner's mission, and you can both have a win-win situation. So Manitoulin Streams is very focused on improving our environment, and so are we. And so they donated trees so that we can plant them, and then that way both of our goals are achieved. Additionally, shoreline, roadside, and park cleanups. So go around, collect garbage clean up your streets, make the area look nice, and protect habitats of the animals living there. This can be a really fun way to get your community and your team engaged in environmental stewardship, and it's a great group activity. You can also make it a competition, like who can collect the most bags of garbage, and just make it really fun. When our team did this, we were cleaning up a playground and we stopped for like 20 minutes to play on the playground, and then after we all had some snacks, and you can make a day of it. It doesn't have to be just like, oh, gross, we're picking up garbage. It can be something really positive, like we are picking up garbage and we're making our area better for everyone, and you get to have fun with your friends while doing it. Additionally, you could do battery and e-waste drives, so collecting batteries from your school and your community so that they can be recycled properly and not just thrown into the landfill, and e-waste drives where you can recycle old machines and electronics. Usually we do these through another company, and it's what's really nice about the e-waste drives is that some companies, they pay you money for how much weight of electronic waste that you collect. And so it's a good way to raise money for your team as well as doing something good for the environment. Next slide, please. All right, promotion. So spreading the message around your community is very important. You can do this in a couple different ways. So promotion in your initiatives. So this is another piece on integrating environmental sustainability into different things that you do. One of our goals last year was to improve literacy in younger kids interested in STEM. And so we wrote the Robo Friends book. Now we also included environmental sustainability as a huge piece in this book so that it is in line with our team values, but also achieving our original goal of promoting literacy. And so that not only got kids interested in STEM and reading, it also got them thinking about their environment and the animals that live in it. Another way you can promote environmental sustainability is to get everyone involved. So there are different ways that you can do this. We do this through design challenges. So each year we send out a challenge to our community to design a robot and send it in, like just like a sketch, and then they send it in and it's judged, and the winners get a prize, which is pretty cool. I love prizes. And we often include a piece of environmental sustainability into these challenges just to get people thinking about engineering and also how engineering can go hand in hand with our environment. So we had a couple years where there was a invasive species robot, like remove invasive species off the bottom of boats, and we had a tree planting robot and snow removal robot. And these are all just great ways to get people thinking, especially younger kids thinking about their environment. Additionally, we use our social media to advocate for environmental sustainability. Posting eco tips is a great one, or just promoting your already environmentally sustainable initiatives. And social media is a great way to get the word out there to beyond just your community, because your social media can be seen by anyone in the world. And it can also inspire other teams, because other teams might not be able to see what you're doing in your community, but they can see what you're doing on your social media. Next slide, please. So our toolkit. This is a resource that 6865 created to help teams integrate environmental sustainability into their business plan and their budget and stuff like that. What's important is having a sustainability mindset. This is kind of what the toolkit touches on. So consider environmentally friendly improvements in everything that your team does. It doesn't just have to be like specifically planned out. It can be integrated in a way that benefits your team and the environment. So different ways you can do this is like change to energy saving light bulbs, switch off the lights. I know that's a pretty common one. Like you can do that anywhere. Unplug things that are done charging. Turning your heat down in the building saves a lot of energy. You can do different challenges like be vegetarian for a day or have vegetarian meals at your team practices or dinners if you guys are getting together. And things like clothing drives, and we touched on tree planting. One thing that's pretty important is locally sourcing your materials. That saves a lot of carbon emissions because it doesn't have to travel as far to get to you. Especially us, we're pretty rural, so using materials shipped from far away is a great deal of emissions emitted in our name. So locally sourcing not only builds partnerships with those around you, but it also helps the environment. You can start a composting program, or you can even start collecting recycling at competition, bring recycling bins and help teams figure out sorting the water bottles in their pits or different cans and stuff in the crowd instead of all of it just going into the garbage. If your team has access to a 3D printer, it is a great way of saving transportation on parts getting shipped in, because you can make your own parts, especially if they're pretty small. If you need some more help, there is a QR code to our sustainability toolkit. This toolkit includes a carbon calculator, so you can see how much carbon your team is emitting, and you can also calculate how much your team is offsetting, and you get a total if you're in the negatives or if you're carbon neutral or carbon positive, which is really nice. There's definitely more considerations that are suggested, including going to green hotels when your team is traveling. And there's just a bunch of things you can consider, and it's important to have that sustainability mindset where you're always considering what could make this more environmentally friendly. That's a question that you should be asking yourself. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you'll have a great day and that you learned something today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so we are Team Sycamore from Israel, and today we're going to lecture about SWOT and risk analysis. So we will start with the risk analysis. Danielle, it's your stage.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is risk analysis?
If you can click, please. Thank you.
Okay. Risk analysis is the process of identifying and analyzing potential issues that could negatively impact our team's existence. This process is done to help us avoid or mitigate those future risks. If you can click. Okay. Why is risk analysis important?
Okay.
Risk analysis provides us a structured approach to assess our sentences, enhancing our team's adaptability and long-term growth and success. It is important to identify those risks in an early stage so that we could change them.
Okay. So risk analysis, what it is. So the first one is sponsors. The second is workspace, knowledge, and time. I'm gonna talk about each part. So sponsors. So is the team budget due to income, okay? Income and outcome. Capitalize sponsorship opportunities to ensure financial sustainability, okay? We want to measure our income and our outcome in order to see the money we have and we don't have and how to deal with that properly and smartly. Okay, the second one is workspace. In order to do a good workspace, we need to make a good use of the space. We have to maximize the team's ability. Like in our lab and in our school, workspace is very important and we need to use this smartly.
Knowledge. It is important to perceive our knowledge every year and every season. You need to draw conclusion to help improve the team's abilities. It is important to take the knowledge from the mentors you have, the team members and the alumni. Time. In the building season, the time is very stressed and there's no time at all. Therefore, it is very important. The time needs to be managed right. You can use Google Calendar. There you can write all the activities you need to do in the building season, and we can say it is very helpful for
Or
us.
Jira. Like I'm the captain of the team and we are using all the time Google Calendar, to maximize the time of the team, to divide the time we have in a week to each sub-team and each team that we will all be organized together. So this is risk analysis. Okay, so the second part of this presentation is the SWOT model. So first of all, what is actually the SWOT analysis? A valuable framework that we can help to evaluate your team from different angles and discover new ways to grow and improve. Every important team needs to work with SWOT analysis in order to work good.
SWOT model defines the team's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
And this time we are going to give you examples for each letter, the S, W, O, and T. So let's start. Okay, the strengths. So this is the internal factors that give the FRC team an advantage and contribute to success. So maybe you should see the examples. Okay, so skilled team, experienced members with strong technical skills in engineering, programming, and design. This is a strength. This is what we want in our team to be our strength. So the second one is innovative designs, creative and efficient robust designs, ability to adopt and solve problems quickly. This is also a strength. The third one is mentorship and guidance. This is, I think, the important one. Experienced mentor providing support and guidance, helping with strategic decision and robot design. And the final one is to access to resources, availability to tools, funding, like from sponsors, schools, local community, parents, or I don't know, team members, and materials for building the robot. Materials is also very important. Okay, the second one is weaknesses.
Weaknesses is internal challenges or limitations that hinder the team's performance or growth. We need to address our weaknesses before they could hurt us. So here are the examples. Limited time. As I said before, the time in the building season is very stressful, and therefore we need tight deadlines during the build season, leading to rushed designs or incomplete testing. Resource constraints. Lack of sufficient funding, limited access to advanced equipment or faculties.
Okay. Communication issues. Okay. So miscommunications between team members, delays, and decision making, or unclear roles. Okay, and the following one is backup plans. Inefficient preparations for cognitive. Okay, such a robot. Wait. Such. Wait, we have an internet connection. Okay, we're sorry, and we're going to the next one. Okay, the next one is opportunities. External factors or trends that the FRC team can leverage to improve our growth. This is different from strength because this is strength I want to be, like opportunities, not what I have, what I want to have. Okay, so sponsorship and funding. Potential to attract new sponsors, secure additional funding, or collaborate with local businesses for resources. These are opportunities we want to have our team. Okay, new technologies. Access to advanced technologies such as automation, sensors, or software tools that improve robot performance. Like in our team, we invented new camera called Hamdal. So this camera can, I don't know, detect the things in the field and know the potential position each time. So this is new technologies. This is our opportunities to be better, to be smarter. Okay, community engagement. Opportunities to increase outreach and build awareness of STEAM and robotics in local community or schools. This is our opportunity to make this world better, to contribute to others, and to learn new communities about STEAM and about technology and science. And the final one is mentorship and networking, collaborating with other teams or gaining advice from experts in the robotics field. Okay. And this is the last one, threats.
Threats is external challenges or risks that could negatively impact the team's performance or future. Those threats we need to avoid because they could impact us in the future of the team.
We need to predict them. We need to learn to how not to do them.
And how to avoid them.
Yeah.
Here are the examples. Competition. Stronger teams with better resources, more experience, or advanced robot designs, they could impact the success of our team. Therefore, we need to prepare the team of this threat, and we can only grow from that.
Yeah.
Changes in rules. Adjustments to the competition rules that might disadvantage our robot design or strategy. We need to adjust our team abilities to the rules because they are not always address our abilities.
Yeah.
Budget cuts. Reduction in funding from school sponsors or local community, limiting resources for building the robot or attending competitions. Technical failures. Unforeseen robot malfunction, sensor failures, or programming bugs that cannot be resolved in time. Which these things you can also help the website Chief Delphi, because there you can contact with other teams, contact with them, and they could really be useful with something that you can't have a solution for it.
Yeah, and moreover, we can predict that. We can be ready for those events and those things. So when it will be and when it will be happen, we will be more ready and more smart that we can do this better. Okay, so this was the presentation. If you can click. Okay, this was the presentation about SWOT and risk analysis. We hope you learn well and, learn a little more about SWOT and risk analysis and how to deal with that and how to be smarter to write that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We all thank today's presenters, and after all, we thank to all of the collaborators that have took part in the 8 seminars that have been conducted each week in the last 8 weeks. We've all been working since the beginning of October. I know it was an overwhelming process to be presenting each week at the same day at the same time. But I thank to all of the collaborators that have spent hours for this outreach. Um, and also thanks to all participants. We all wish you the best. We wish that you adapt at least one thing to your team that you have observed and found that it possibly can do a positive impact on your team. And we all wish you a great kickoff. We all wish you a great build season. We have the 2025 Reefscape ahead of us, and I hope it will be filled with fun, learning, and achievements. And after all, I wish you have a great year. I hope you have a great year. The new year is ahead, and I guess it's time to say goodbye. It has been an honor and a joy to work with all of you, and goodbye. Take care.
There you go. Bye.